Hello, welcome to another smart success story with HBXL with Worthy Builders from Reading Limited. Today we're going to be having a look at visual estimating. My name's Adrian Wild, I'm the MD of HBXL. I've been a builder and property developer for over 25 years prior to setting up HBXL. In that time, I completed over 300 extensions and 80 new houses. Today we're going to be hearing from Bob Owls of Worthy Builders. They're a company based in Reading. He started using Estimator Express and Plans Express in 2015. We call this combination of software packages visual estimating. We recorded his interview in advance due to his busy schedule. The interview was conducted with myself, Adrian Wild, and Shannon Sash, who's one of our business support advisors. So, let's talk to Bob about how he's using Plans and Estimator Express to improve his business.
Hello, my name is Adrian Wild. I'm the MD at HBXL, and today we're really pleased to have Bob Owls with us today from Worthy Builders in Reading. And Bob and his team have recently purchased our software and sounds as though they're having quite a good experience with us. So we're going to ask them a few questions, understand their business and try to understand how it's helped them with their business. So Bob, I'm here today with Shannon, one of our support team, and we're going to ask you some questions. So how are you today?
Oh, very well, thank you, Adrian, and good afternoon to you and good afternoon to Shannon.
Great stuff. Thanks. So tell us a little bit about your business, Bob, and how you came to be using our services.
Well, we are a small to medium-sized commercial builder, which is family-owned. Our managing director is Mr. Andrew Grimshaw, who has been in the business for more years than he would like to claim, but highly experienced. And we do schools, old people's homes, retirement homes, shops, offices, etc. But the early part of last year, we decided that we'd maybe have a little bit of a venture into the residential side of the building, which was more, that people were asking us if we would do it when, we didn't really expect to go that route, but we did a couple of projects for people, and then via recommendation received more inquiries and decided that with the state of the economy and everything that goes with cutbacks, it might be worthwhile just having a number of eggs in the basket instead of just one.
Okay. Have you found it a good market to be in? I.e. there's a bit more margin there?
I think it's debatable whether there is much more margin in it, because you're competing with different types of businesses. With a business, when you're in commercial business, you're up against some of the big boys, and I don't need to mention their names, but when you get into the residential side, you can be up against one man and a van, which is sometimes difficult to compete with if you've got, professional business. Not saying theirs isn't, but when you have overheads accordingly, so you have to price accordingly.
Sometimes they put in kamikaze prices, and you'll never beat them. And it's not even wise to try, I'm sure.
Absolutely not. And the art of working in that environment is to convince the client, or to outline to the client, exactly what spec you're going to build and the quality of the build you're going to provide them with. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think Shannon's going to ask you a few questions now about the software side now, so that I'm not dominating the conversation. So fire away, Shannon.
Hi, Bob.
Hello, Shannon.
Yeah, Bob, so you have our Estimator Express software and our Plans Express software.
That's correct, yeah.
Yeah, what originally made you to get on board with this?
Well, we, as I was just saying, the early part of last year started to get into the residential side, more by accident than sort of design, and we were finding that we just couldn't cope with the amount of quotations that we had to produce. therefore, we were losing opportunities because we couldn't put a price on the table.
Right.
We came across you guys on the internet and tried you out via your estimating service, which you did very speedily and very accurately, and it was very well presented. And we thought this may be the way forward. And we tried you on a number of occasions, and then we thought, well, I'm sure, we could obtain this software and do the whole job ourselves, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, well, it puts you in control, doesn't it? And gives you you can put your hands on all the levers.
Well,
I think who inevitably is going to take a week or two to turn them around anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. And, with the greatest respect, I mean, if you're running an estimating service, then you do have to, have overhead yourself on that. And once we were up and running with it, we could produce the quotations, at a more economical cost to ourselves.
Yeah.
And it's all about profit at the end of the day.
Of course it is, yes. Good.
And what would you think with the Estimator Express especially, are some of the key features that stand out for you?
I think the key feature which stands out for us is the final presentation, which we can then quickly fire off to the customer. We can have as much detail or as little detail on it as we want, or even what they require. The breakdown that we can work on it makes sure that we don't accidentally miss anything as well, which is good. The time saved by I use the term real time, which I hope is the correct term for all the prices that are on your web on your site, which just automatically saves us spending many hours a week phoning up suppliers, checking the prices of bags of sand and bags of cement, etc.
All which just eats into your day, doesn't it? Messing around with that sort of stuff.
Well, it was, it's purely time, really, and time equates to money. And if you've got the amount of people we had sat there doing the same job day in, day out, it was burning away our hours. So we were more trying to hang on to the tail of the tiger rather than lead it by lead, so to speak.
Right. So to summarise that, then you used HPXL estimating services. You found that the presentation was working well. You started to win more jobs. So you thought, well, hang on a minute, if we can do this ourselves, it's going to be even more economic and gives us more control. So you obviously then bought the software. I think I'm right in saying you're using the Plans Express software and the estimating software as a combination, where you trace over the drawings. Is that right?
That's absolutely correct, yes.
And you find that works well as a process, do you?
I think it's an excellent process to use. One of the problems I think that anybody has when they transfer, such an important task is the fear factor that, it's not going to do what you want it to do.
Yeah.
But again, with the manuals that you receive with it and a little bit of time spent reading it and practicing, and obviously the tremendous backup team that you have there when we have got stuck on something which is very simple 9 times out of 10, but we can't see it, they can put us right very quickly and away we go. So
so that's good to hear that's working well. Great. So you traced over it. It's presumably it's done all the measurements for you and drops it into the estimating tool. Have you spent time sort of customising that to reflect your preferred materials, or are you using it out of the box for estimating?
To be quite honest with you, we tend to use it out of the box. I mean, we have obviously put in our own labour rates, because our labour rates could be, being not far from London, different to people up and down the country.
watering some of the prices people tell me, which makes it even more important to get it right.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, the business is run in a professional manner, and we have a rate that we work to. You know, it's not a guessology rate. It's what we have to achieve to make the company profitable.
Great.
So yeah, we do adjust. We don't really question the materials.
They're close enough without fiddling with it. But if you wanted to, you could customise it completely, I guess.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, we can choose where we want to buy the sand from, where we want to buy the cement from, where we want to buy the plasterboard from. It's that simple to break it down. Although we find on a quotation, it's normally, so close to what it's actually going to end up with, it wouldn't make a lot of difference. So.
Good. Well, that's always been my view, but I mean, there's certainly some customers out there who go through the spec and all power to their elbow, and they tune it to precisely the materials they want to use. So it's 101% accurate. So, but yeah, generally speaking, at an estimating stage, if you've got an insulation block in there of the right sort of price, that's near enough, really.
I think it's going to be accurate enough. And again, we could spend 2-3 hours phoning around to see if we can buy a block, 50 pence, 100 cheaper, and it doesn't equate to the cost of the man hours involved. So.
I can remember having exactly the same conversation with my guys, saying, well, I've saved threepence on the block here, Adrian, and there's 500 square metres. So I'd say, great, you've saved me 15 quid, but you probably cost me 60 quid to do it. So, absolutely. You can
couldn't agree more.
So I mean, listening to you, it sounds as though it's really helped speed things up, and you've moved into a different business. Not as a result of it exactly, but it's helped you to make that transition fairly easily by the sound of it. Do you think if you hadn't got the software, you'd have lost work and perhaps lost profitability?
I don't know about profitability, but it certainly speeds up the process. And as we become more conversant with it and confident with it, which, that's not saying we're not, because we are, otherwise we wouldn't persist with it. But it is certainly a saver of man hours to the extent where once you've gone through Plans Express, traced over the drawing or created your own drawing and priced it accordingly, and then you then put that into Estimator Express.
So you mentioned there in passing that you're creating some original drawings as well, are you?
Oh yeah. Only small ones at the moment, but it's simple to do. And then importing it into the Estimator Express, you can press a button, check a few figures, hit the create quotation or estimate, and go and make a cup of tea, and by the time you come sit back down, press a button and it comes off the printer. So
you've got to be quick with the kettle, haven't you? It doesn't take long on a small job, does it? I mean, I know I run a design and build business, and I found it the best way of maintaining workload. It enabled me to build jobs that were buildable, use the materials that I wanted to, and really control the business rather than being at the mercy of the architect's drawings and what have you that weren't necessarily practical or straightforward to build. I don't know whether that's your experience or not.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're very similar, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah. Okay.
I think what we find that it gives more control over the whole aspect of receiving an inquiry, to get a quotation on for somebody, dining room table, wherever you want to put it, but from time of inquiry to time of delivery of quotation, it's the time it saves has got to be the plus.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay, so Shannon's going to ask you a few things about using the software now, so over to you, Shannon.
Yeah, Bob, I'm just going to come back to the comment about our tremendous backup team you mentioned earlier.
There's Shannon.
I hope the check's in the post for that one.
If I do say so myself. Bob, when it comes to the support side of things, with the software, initially there is 12 months uncapped support. And you know, you're welcome, you know that you're always welcome to call in, which you have made use of. How have you found, has it been for you getting your head around the software and basically as a user of the software, how have you found it?
Relatively simple without trying to sound too clever, to be quite honest with you. I mean, I'm the kind of chap that when I'm at home, I would struggle to set the video recorder, although we don't have video recorders anymore, it's all HD, isn't it? But I'm that kind of guy, really, who would not be able to reset the clock in my car. But having used,
I know the feeling.
Yeah, but having used Excel, Word, and Microsoft products for many years, I found it quite easy to get to grips with it, because once I realised that there was quite a bit of Excel base in the software, I think the only thing I took a few days getting used to was on the CAD side of the tracing, where you know you just sort of like click onto the point, then release, and then go click on your next point. I was tending to sort of do as you would do in Windows, is tend to drag it.
Yes, it's a bit confusing
sense.
the first few minutes, isn't it? And,
yeah.
I know exactly where you're coming from. Once you've got it, makes it a...
Once you've got it, it's second nature, and away you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I'm looking at ways of sort of, you know, how I can do it, use that kind of idea in other bits and pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause I see from the record that you spoke quite a lot with myself. I mean, you and I have chatted in the past, as well as with John and my colleague Tom.
Absolutely.
And you know, overall, with the support team and the support that you were provided, I mean, would you definitely recommend it from the support side of things?
Oh, absolutely, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm sure I've said it to you. I phone up and say, look, I'm sorry to trouble you, but I can't work out how to do this. And they say, well, you know, that's what we're here for. Don't apologise.
Exactly.
That keeps us, keeps us going and keeps us on our toes. And I've yet to have a problem that hasn't been sorted out very quickly.
Good.
Brilliant. And not only sorted out quickly, but a bit of time and instruction so we don't come across that problem again. So, we get educated by your backup team as well as assisted in our immediate problem.
Great.
Brilliant.
Good.
Brilliant. Yeah,
So, I guess, just looking at a few quick questions we have, I think you've probably answered a lot of them in terms of speed. It's obviously saving you time, you're turning quotes round. It sounds as though it's impressing clients and winning a good quantity of work. As we were saying earlier before we started to record the conversation, you don't want to win every job because it probably means you're too cheap, but you need to win enough to make it worthwhile.
Oh, absolutely.
I think you've probably answered all the questions, really. I mean, it's because you've only really been using the software now for about 3 months, so it's great to hear that, already you're feeling fairly confident with it and able to get on with the job. I often liken it to driving a car. The first time you get into it as a youth, you get into it and you think, how on earth am I going to operate the pedals and the clutch and the gears and get to where I'm going? But after a while you just get in the car and decide where to go. You don't think about it, do you?
Absolutely. I think, and I think I may have mentioned it to one of your technical staff some weeks ago or something like that. The initial problem is the fear of the unknown.
Yeah.
And once you become confident with it and you get accustomed to how it operates, then you're away, really.
Yeah.
And then you just keep trying it, and when you're happy to go live with it, go live with it.
Yeah. So if I was to say to you, here, Bob, here's your couple of £1,000 back. You can go back to your spreadsheets and your biro. Would you do that?
I certainly wouldn't, no. No, I certainly wouldn't.
That's good to hear. Well, hopefully we'll continue to spread the message to builders because, as you say, many of them are apprehensive of it, but happily many of them that we speak to subsequently, are a bit like you. They're sort of saying, it's changed the business, which is always great to hear. So thank you very much for using the estimating services and the software over the last 12 months. It's been great talking to you. Have you got any other final thoughts before we wrap up?
I think we've touched on everything, Adrian, to be quite honest with you. I mean, as I say, over the years I've been, or I've purchased things that have been told that they're life-changing and they haven't, but this one certainly does what it says on the tin, so to speak. It saves us time, makes it look more professional, and doesn't take so long to do such sometimes monotonous jobs. Yes,
yeah. Were you spending a lot of your own personal time estimating prior, or are you old and wise enough to not to allow that to happen?
I think we all get dogged down with it, to be quite honest with you. We don't choose that route, but we end up, unfortunately, it's the foundations of the business, really, is that you've got to get the quotes out, and, if you don't, then you're not going to get the work.
Has it given you back more of your evenings and weekends, do you think?
I beg your pardon?
Has it given you back more of your evenings and weekends, do you think, or are you just doing more work?
Well, I'd like to say it does, but I tend to like the software that much that I sit at home in the evenings and weekends, and rather than watch TV, play it out on Plans Express, which is... I don't know if my wife would agree with that or not, but there you go.
I think that's got to be the quote of the week.
Yeah. I much prefer to estimate a double garage than watch EastEnders nowadays, so there you go.
Well, it is. I know where you're coming from, because it is good fun to use Plans Express, because the models just sort of pop up almost magically within a few minutes, don't they? It's great to see them.
I think whenever we get guests round for dinner or drinks or something over an evening or over the weekend, and my wife says, "Oh no, he's got the laptop out. That means he's going to design something for you." So there we go.
That's brilliant.
That's great. Thanks very much indeed. Hopefully we'll meet sometime and have a drink.
Pleasure.
Thanks very much, Bob. Cheers.
Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Bob.
Bye.
So that was very interesting listening to Bob about how he's been getting on with that software. For those of you who are not familiar with visual estimating, let me tell you a few things about our software. The first thing, as Bob was discussing, was that it's really easy to prepare drawings. You can prepare a drawing like this in less than half an hour, along with all the building regulation notes. Remember that you can also import drawings that have been created on AutoCAD, whether they're DXFs, DWGs, PDFs or JPEGs, and use them within Plans Express. So you can use all your existing drawings to the full, or drawings that have been created on other systems by your architect. As I was saying, the software also creates instant building regs notes based on the specification you've chosen and a list of standard building regs notes that we've created. Software will also produce, with a single mouse click, full photorealistic models, and you can edit those to change colours and so on of elevations, doors and so on. You can also prepare 3D floor plans to help your clients understand what it is you're proposing. The software will create instant estimates directly from the drawings, all based on live product from Jewson's, Travis, TradePoint, Graham's and Screwfix, and several other merchants. You can plan your job using a Gantt chart to help you manage the program and to help you prepare things like cash flow forecasts and just-in-time material schedules. Here's a cost cash flow graph for you and a breakdown of materials by product type. The software will also produce completely detailed quotes from the first dig right down to the last nail in the skirting boards. The software will generate quotes for you in a matter of seconds, you can make them as simple or as complicated as you like, and our software is proven to win more than 230% more work when you present it using the software. Once you've completed one or two jobs, you can merge those together in the project manager to help you plan complete housing developments or simply your overall workload. And don't forget, of course, the software also links to Health and Safety Expert 2015, so that for architects and designers, you can also create your design phase construction health and safety plan, as well as manage the actual job as it's in progress. So, if any of this is of interest to you, give our sales team a call. They'll be able to give you more information, or drop us an email. If you'd like to have a trial, call the support team and we'll get you set up and help you start on the same journey that Bob has made. And as he said, he wouldn't swap it now, even if I gave him all his money back. It's transforming his business and saving him a lot of time.